Hey everyone, Shawn here with Manly Made Minute. Welcome back to another episode of Monday Moments where I share tips, tricks, and helpful hints. Today, we're mounting red rubber stamps. I am part of a design team of Peddlers Den, and she uses red rubber, unmounted red rubber, and you can do this a couple different ways. She has a grip it mat that you can use on blocks or on a stamping tool, or you can mount these on foam. And so, like an easy mount stamp and foam. I got this idea from Anthony's Papercraft. Anthony, he is on the design team on Peddlers Den. He used to have his own company that I was on design team for, and now he's doing other things in the crafting industry. So him and I met to show me how to mount Peddlers Den things to make it easier to stamp for me. And I thought this would be a great video to show you what he showed me. So this was not me discovering this. This was me being taught this, going, this would be great to have on video for you all. So I'm going to show you the stamps themselves. I got everything mounted from my stash from Peddlers Den except for the last couple that I saved to show you. This is not about the stamping. This is not about the product as much as it is the technique of how to mount these on foam. All right? Before we get started, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Would love to have you part of my journey on YouTube and Instagram under Manly Made Minute. And let's go down to the down table and show you how to make this happen. All right. So here are the stamps. Let me show you the stamps first. So her stamps come in the regular, the film packaging. I put them in my own envelopes. And this is the label that comes with it. These are her stamps. So it's a thin red rubber, not sticky, it's not mounted, right? You need to grip it to mount it, or we're going to show you how to do this foam. Very, very thin. But what you want to do when they come like this is you need to trim off all this excess because ink gets on it, and then when you stamp, because they're pretty thin, there's not a lot of give between the indentation of the stamp itself and the rubber. All right, so you need to trim that back. You need to mount it first, then trim it. I'm going to show you that. The other thing that you need is you're going to need, these work best. These were recommended by Anthony, and they worked like a charm. These are the Tim Holtz 7-inch. I think these are the fine tip pruning ones or something they were called. 7-inch, very small blade. So this is literally like if you inch square, so there's about 1.5 inches or not quite 2 inches of a blade. The titanium, they do get gummy, really gummy, but this titanium will clean up nice. So these you can see are all gummy from all the stamps I just did here night before last. All right. So you want to mount it first, then cut it. All right. So these are the scraps that were left over from my mounting from before. They come in a full 8.5 by 11 sheet like this. Very sticky. Very, very sticky. All right. We're going to put the stamp on the sticky part. This white part is what you would peel back, and that's what sticks to the mounting tool, whether it's a block or stamping tool or whatever you're stamping with, and that's what adheres it. It's not super sticky, but that gray side is super sticky. All right, I'm just going to use the scraps, and what we're going to do is I laid out my stamps all over the sheet to make sure they fit, and then I, one by one, took another sheet and put them down in that same order to reduce waste. This one fits here, so I'm just going to peel this back, like so. Try not to touch that sticky part because it gets really sticky and you'll pull some of that stick off. All right. Now, when you put this on, I'll show you on my glass mat. You want to lay one edge down, push it into the sticky mat, and then walk it down like so that you don't get air bubbles in there. All right. So I'm going to lay this down, and then I'm going to stick that edge down, and now I'm just going to walk this down. Oh, I got it off just a little bit. All right, lay that one edge down, and now I'm just going to walk this down. Get it on crooked. Okay, there we go. And then walk that down so you don't get air bubbles. Then push this back over the top and really push that into that sticky to get that contact going. Then you flip it. Do the same thing. Get a good adhesion on there. and I do it one more time. Okay. Now I will take and cut this piece off. Like so. And then I can keep using that piece. Now what you're going to do is you're going to trim around that red rubber. You're going to get as close as you can. I'm going to zoom in on this so that you can see better. I'm going to try to get as close to that stamp as possible without cutting into it. But you do leave just a tiny, tiny little edge. And then I'll show you when you come around corners that you want to clip off any corners so that that ink doesn't grab on there. It's a little dirty. All right? So what you're going to do, try to keep this in frame here. Cut through the foam and through the rubber with your shears. Keep your shears as much as you can up and down versus this way so you're not undercutting, and keeping that shears up and down so I get a nice straight cut, okay? All right, so I'm going to get as close as I can. I leave just a little perimeter on that, like so. And then just keep going around. And I'll get about half of this cut, and then I'll cut the other half off camera. Now, getting in these corners, I found it easier to slice in from the edges than try to trace around like you're fussy cutting too much. It's hard with that rubber. Pull that off. Now I'll go this straight edge, and then I'll do this one rounded edge here for you and show you. So I'm just going to go all the way down this straight edge, getting pretty darn close. The less I have of an overhang for that ink to grab when you're stamping, the better off. All right? Just like so. All right, now on these, you're going to want to cut that little extra off because that'll pick up ink. And here's what I do. So I'm going to cut the best I can around, and then I'll show you how to kind of angle. All right, now I'm going to go over here to the white. There we go. I switch my shears this way versus this way. I'm going like this. And I'm just almost taking off that little top edge to round off this corner so it doesn't grab ink on me. Okay, and then that little corner right there, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just rounding that corner off. I got pretty close on this one, so I got to be careful not to cut into that design. It's going to take you, when you do this the first time, pick a stamp that's kind of big with not a lot of indentations, because it's going to take you a couple times to get the groove down. Okay, then I do the same thing. On that cut edge, I just go around, and it's like I'm giving it just a tiny bit of a little haircut so that hard edge doesn't catch ink on me. So it's like you're cutting that little edge down. So it's almost like that whole edge is kind of rounded, is basically what you're going for. Okay? And I'll finish this little edge here. And then I'll cut the rest of this and come back and show you. So just kind of trim that down. You're going to get little pieces like this that you just didn't cut through very good. You just got to give it a little haircut the best you can. Like so. All right. So this is the first little edge run here. So I rounded and softened the edge like this way around the edge. Cut as close as you can to that design. And I'll just do straight down here. I'm going to turn it so I can go this way. And I'm going to do the same thing all the way down. Just taking that little hard edge off so my ink doesn't catch when stamping it. There we go. All right, I'm going to finish the rest of this. Let me just show you these areas like this. So here, I'll do this little piece right here. So I found it easier to go in this way and get us up in that corner the best that I can and V-cut that out. Like so. Then I come in and around the rest of that. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut those little edges down so I get that hard edge off. My ink's not catching. Anywhere you got a point, cut that point off, because that's what's going to catch that ink, according to Anthony. When I did all mine, I did the best I could, and I tell you what, I worked. I tested several stamps after doing this, and worked like a charm. These stamped 150%, 200% better after I mounted these. Personal opinion. Now, if you like the grippets and different things, go right for it. I like mounting and use my MISTI tool. So, all right, that's that edge. I'm going to finish this piece and this around the rest of this top, and we'll be right back. Okay, now I'm going to peel this other side off. That's the less sticky side. This just gives it enough tack to stick to your mounting tool. All right, I'm going to throw that piece away because then I'll just store it like this. Lay your stamp down where you want to stamp. Then you can pick that up with your tool. All right. Now I'm just going to lightly stamp this to show you how effective this is. So I'm just going to get out my VersaFine, and I'll just zoom back out a little bit here so you can kind of see full picture. All right. Keeping your ink flat and level so you're not rolling into those edges. And now you can see how fine of a detail these stamps are. And then just lay that down, and you don't have to give this very much pressure at all. I'm just kind of lightly pushing with my fingertips. I should probably take this out because it's foam and thick, but I wasn't going to do that for the video purpose. And there you have it. A nice, clean, crisp image that doesn't have the edge of the rubber. That can happen if you don't trim these down. All right? So hopefully that helps you for mounting some of these rubber stamps, especially if you are doing peddlersden.com and the way you get these stamps. You can mount them, you can use the grip it, but it is helpful to trim that down so that you're not getting those edges of that stamp. Next up, you can remount like this your wood blocks, and I have a video coming out shortly on how to do that. Thank you to Mr. Anthony from Anthony's, used to be Anthony's Papercraft, now it's Anthony's Craft Room or something to that effect. But I'm going to mount mine first, and then I'm going to show you how to unmount and mount your wood stamps doing this same technique. All right? Thanks for hanging with me and being a part of my journey, and until next time, I'll see you then.